Hi students, this is Professor Wilson and this is my introduction video. So I'm originally from the city of Manchester, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is one of those small states tucked up there in the northeast, closer to the Canadian border. That's where I was born and where I grew up. I went to college in Boston and then I went to Miami and got my PhD in philosophy at the University of Miami. And then I got my job here at South Texas College back in 2013. I've been here for about 10, 12 years, 13, going on 13 years. I have family, kids, and they call this place home. So I consider the RGV to be my home now. Thank you for adopting me, those of you who are originally natives of the area. There's not too much interesting about me. So I'm an associate professor of philosophy here at South Texas College. As I said, I've been working here for about 12 years. I went to college in Boston, and actually I am a first generation college student. Neither of my parents went to college. My mother went to college later just for a few semesters, but didn't earn anything more than a certificate. So like many of you, I'm having to navigate like many of you, I had to navigate college kind of without much help from my family. I did really enjoy college. I enjoyed learning, and I especially enjoyed philosophy. So I decided to try to do that for a living, right? Not too much else interesting about me as far as my interests go. Right now, I'm really interested in a video game called Jurassic World Evolution 3. Where you get to build your own dinosaur park. I know I'm 43 years old, but I still like to play video games once in a while. I'm not too much of a gamer. You guys probably are a lot more than I am. Now, as far as what problem or what concern I have regarding our society and our world, of course, as a philosophy professor, I have many concerns about society, about the world. One concern I have in particular is inequality, particularly economic inequality and the way our economic system is structured so that inequality can end up getting worse, right? So for example, it's been set out this way from the beginning, you learn about this, that really the only people who had any power or influence over society were property owners. Owning property was the way in which you could get ahead in this country, and it very much still is. At this point, though, in 2026, there's not a whole lot of kind of free land to go out there and kind of live off of. You do have to either work for somebody, and maybe you can save enough money and then you can buy property. Or what's happening right now, and this is my real concern right now, is that property is becoming unaffordable, right? Homes are becoming unaffordable. Down here in the RGV, homes are still relatively affordable, but in a lot of other parts of the country, homes are becoming out of reach. So that if you don't have any kind of inheritance, if your parents were not already property owners, and when they pass, they're gonna give you their property, they're gonna give you their homes, they're gonna give you their buildings, their stocks, and all that, their companies that they might own, then you may never be able to own property because you'll have to work for a wage your whole life, and you may never, because of cost of living, you may never be able to afford property for your home. And so you'll be in what they call the working class your whole life. And so that's the real division in our country, in Western capitalist societies, is between the property owners or the investor class, people who make a lot of their money from their investments, from the property that they own, and the working class who make most of their money from actual work, from wage labor or from salaried labor. I'm mostly in the working class. I own a little bit of property. This house that it's not really mine yet. The bank still owns it, right? Because I have a mortgage. I hope one day to be an actual property owner, right? So the professional class too, those who make most of their money from the profession that they work, they're part of the working class. And what's going on right now is that the people who are born into wealth, people who are born into families that already have a lot of property, own a lot of buildings, a lot of homes, a lot of businesses, a lot of stock, they start out with a whole lot, and they can use that money that they have to buy more property. And that's, of course, increasing the price of property, making it more out of reach for people who are starting out working class. So that kind of inequality between the working class and between the property owners or the investor class is growing, and that's one of my big concerns about our society today.